Sir Mix-a-Lot, welcome to Free Your Voice.
What's up, man?
Man, it has been too long. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been good, man. Kind of weird. I thought getting up in age would scare the hell out of me, right? I thought I'd be just like, oh, I'm doomed now, but no, I'm good. I'm
But
good.
you know what? But you got your mojo. Like, what is the secret? Is there like a pill you take for it? Because you don't age, Mix.
Trust me. Hey, let me show you something. Look at this.
Oh, come on. Oh, the little gobble gobble neck. We all have it.
That's age. See, turkey voice too. That's it. But nah, man, I'm good. I'm happy. And like I said, I went through a couple of bankruptcies early '90s, and that taught me a lot about fiscal literacy. So yeah. So
Well, I think that life is a lesson.
it
So
is.
talk about the Grammys, man. I mean, what was that all about? That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of weird for me. I mean, you got to remember, I came off of an independent label before I went to Deaf American, which is Rick Rubin's label. And we had a platinum album before that, and I thought, okay, that's success. Then the next album was gold. I'm like, that's a little less, but yeah, it's still success. So then Rick calls, and he picked a song that I didn't like. I did not like. I didn't. Well, not that I didn't like it, but I didn't think "Baby Got Back" was the single. I thought it was One Time's Got No Case. So Rick let me make a fool of myself by letting me make a video called One Time's Got No Case, and it flopped. And then I gave him his shot, and it won. So that's literally how it happened. It was his choice.
He was a part of it. Now, when you watch the Grammys, so I got to ask you, because I've never been to the Grammys, is it rigged? Is the voting system? Because I saw there was an artist who went on stage and was very upset that his wife didn't win. I mean, is this really set up against a group of people, or like how do they choose this thing?
I have no idea. I'm being honest, man. I mean, I was like a virgin, Grammy virgin. It was my first time going. Um, I didn't even wear nice clothes, right? Because I had heard that the Grammys back then they didn't give rappers the Grammys on TV. So I just wore jeans and an old ass coat, and I was trying to be rebellious, and it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. They didn't kick you out though.
No, they didn't kick me out, and yeah, we were. It was a very interesting. When I was a little awestruck, two things happened there. I After I won my Grammy, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, okay, where am I going with this thing? They took it from me, right, and then they gave it back to me. They said, go get in that line over there. We'll give it right back to you. Okay, so I get in this line. No lie. I hear this guy there's a white dude and a black dude standing in front of me, kind of older, black dude, kind of heavy set, kind of grayish hair, grayish, And I'm listening to and I kept hearing this voice going, well, man, we got to do this thing here. I see them people over there. He had a real strong Southern accent, man. Do this, just talking. I'm thinking, who is this guy? I know that voice from somewhere. Then the other dude starts talking, and he turned around and looked at me, and it was BB King,
BB
and I'm
King.
like, can I cuss?
Of course you can
Oh,
cuss.
yeah. So when it was BB King, I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I think I would say the same. Like, is that BB King?
Yeah,
I mean, what a legend.
my mom is a BB King fan. So BB King gave me his autograph, wrote it to my mom, Helen Ray. I said, it's cool. Then it happened again. I'm out back, outside, chilling for a minute, Grammy break. And up walks George Clinton.
No
I'm
way.
like, you gotta be kidding me. You can't make this up. And that's really what made me want to do music was Parliament Funkadelic. Even before, because hip hop wasn't even born yet, but it was something about the grimy sound of Parliament Funkadelic that
These
made
were
me.
real artists that weren't using auto tune and some of the things that these wannabe artists are using. Because I don't want to pretend I'm not an artist. It's not what I do, but they're using auto tune. But BB King and they didn't use this stuff.
BB King didn't even use drum machines, none of that stuff. You know what I mean? So, but George Clinton must have thought that I was kind of goofy or something because he's like, I give you this autograph, but tell me one group other than Parliament. I said, no, Parliament, Funkadelic, Bootsy Collins, Brides of Funkenstein. How long you want me to go? Bernie Worrell. How long you want to go? He was like, okay. So he signed it, and And here's the last story. This all happened in about an hour's time. So I come back and you have a tunnel, and before you come out, I think this might have not have been the Grammys. It might have been the American Music Awards. But either way, same thing to me. We were in a tunnel, and Ice T, I think it was Ice T, Garth Brooks, um, oh God, achy breaky heart guy. I forgot what his name was. But yeah, all those guys were in there, man, and some guy and Michael Jackson. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was the achy breaky heart guy that looked around me and called Michael Jackson Applehead. And I'm like, did this just call Michael Jackson Applehead? I mean, I'm thinking Michael Jackson gonna have paratroopers dropping down out of the
Of
seat.
course, it's Michael Jackson. Who knows?
And Michael looked, and it was Billy Ray Cyrus. And he said something about your nieces and nephews told me to call you Applehead. And Michael Jackson was totally disoriented, like, okay, that was it. Had to go to our seats. That was it. And Garth Brooks was in there. It was really an interesting, and they probably didn't even know who I was. I knew Ice T knew who I was, but nobody else. And it was a very interesting thing because I went from an independent label, never meeting anybody except for other independent artists, and then it walked in the middle of a billionaire storm. You know
I
what I
mean, the
mean?
greatest artists that have ever been.
Yeah. Yep. And it was humbling at
Now,
minimum.
now, do you think hip hop has like stayed to its original roots? Like, do you see that the hip hop of today versus when you were performing and you still are, but when you were creating, like, tell me the difference.
You know what? I know the difference sonically, but I've seen this before. Go back to the 80s, listen to rock. Matter of fact, look at rock. MTV was born. These guys wearing tight leather pants.
MTV, that's a name I have not heard in a while.
But you think about it.
Wow.
Look at where rock was then, right? Then get into the 90s. Then you got Korn, Slipknot, all these guys, the seven-string guitars. So it's kind of every musical genre does that. It tumbles. Maybe blues and jazz don't they don't veer too far off, but every popular genre does that, and I think that it happens with hip hop. We're in a different space now. I think we use a little bit too much technology. I say that as I'm sitting in the midst of my studio. Right?
Don't you have like one of the most advanced studios out
Yeah,
there?
I got a full 714 surround in here. I got a big Avid S6, a whole bunch of analog gear, but I love doing music, and I think most of that came when I signed with Rick Rubin because he woke that. I was chasing dollars when I met Rick because I just come out of a nasty lawsuit. So I was chasing dollars, and Rick, no, you can't make dollars chasing them. You have to do what you love, and if people see value in it, they buy it. It was just that simple, and that's what I started doing.
Now, in terms of avoiding airplanes, you don't like airplanes.
I flew up until about 1994. We played Luke Skywalker's club, and then we had to fly up into Atlanta to do another club on the same night. So we're like out of Luke's club, go to the hotel, take a shower, get on the plane, and we were in a holding pattern in Atlanta. And dude, I'm telling you, man, I don't know how I remember all of this, but yeah, I do because I was scared as. So that's how I remember it all. We're on this plane, and we're waiting to land, and all of a sudden, I don't know what you call them, air pocket or whatever it is. That thing dropped so fast it felt like my eyebrows went off my head and came back down, man. I told him, and I look back at the time. I'm touring with some hard. I'm talking about straight gangster, and they're back there praying. And I'm looking at Lucifer in the back seat praying. I'm like, I got to get down. I got to get down off of this. After this, I get home. I'm not flying anymore, and that's when I stopped. But I'm going to do it again because I want to take some trips. So
I
I'm
was
going
going to
to do
say, I mean, not flying probably cost you millions and millions of dollars.
it.
You're hesitating, which means yeah.
I gotta think about that because, yeah, yeah, you know what? I don't know. Yeah, you got me thinking because I
I'm gonna
did it,
have you perform in Saudi Arabia. I'm gonna have you in the United Arab Emirates. I mean, come on, Mix. Let's go.
but you know, it's ironic. I had an argument with a good friend of mine who's an agent, and he said, "Dude, if you were flying, you'd make more money. You'd be doing more shows." I said, "Okay." Now he told me this in 22, so we had to, kind of wait out COVID a little bit. I said, "I'm going to show you something." I said, "I'm going to cut back on my shows in 23 severely, and then we'll start for 24." It went from 15K to 20K to 30K. I just did a 50K. I got offered a 60K in Alaska. And I don't know if that's just where the market is, but I noticed that me not doing shows didn't make me worth less. So, scarcity, sometimes scarcity works.
I think scarcity is a good thing. Every time I talk to you, you have this way of describing music with excellence. How do you know when a song is done? How do you know when a track is ready?
If you're creating the track, you never know. I I'm telling you, I would make a song and it needs more of this. It needs more of that. It needs more of this. It needs more of that. And then Rick back then, we didn't have these back and forth cell phones. Well, I mean, we kind of did, but we didn't use them. He would fax me his critiques. I still have them in the other room.
Send you a fax.
Yeah, he'd send me a fax and write down, yeah, this song needs less of this, less of that, cut that out, too much of this. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? But then he's Rick Rubin. So I listened and he was right. He was right. My songs were overproduced because I was trying to impress him. And they sounded, dare I say, almost R&B. They were just overdone. It's too much stuff. And it didn't have a grimy, kind of a feel that it should have.
Now, you're not one of those artists that ever gets out in the media and takes a stance of being a Democrat or Republican, but you probably do have your own views on it. So, talk about politics. I mean, how do you process what's going on in the country?
What I notice about my country, and I love this country, I really do, warts and all. I say that all the time. Um, Americans, we're so spoiled, right? We're so used to getting something that we we walk around with signs. We need a raise from $20 to $40 an hour. And but I think what it is that we're such a blessed country that we need something to hate. That's what we are, man. We just yeah, you know what? Especially don't even talk politics. My God, man. People just love, yeah, your guy. I'm like, what do you mean my guy? I never met the dude. I'm pretty much politically, I'm pretty much in the middle. I mean,
I mean,
like
don't you think it's kind of strange when someone will say, I've always been a Republican or I've always been a Democrat. My thought is, but why can't you vote for the person that you think is at least closely to your more I mean, look, we both know that morals and ethics swing in the wind. Don't believe me, go on TikTok. But why can't we choose the person rather than the party?
I totally agree with you. You're not going to get an argument out of me at all. I wish, and like I said, we need something to hate. That's why we have labels: Republican versus Democrat, cat versus dog, Cowboys versus Indians. They can't stop. I mean, we need something to hate, something to fight, especially in America, because we don't fight. We fight like basically. If we had to do this, we all fight like for the most part. Unless you got to struggle. You don't have to. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to fight. So you don't know how. But I do. It's almost laughable. I watch the news a lot. I'm kind of a political junkie a little bit.
CNN, MSNBC, Fox, what do you tune into?
I'm gonna tell you the one I like. I stopped watching Fox, slanted too far right. Stop watching MSNBC, slanted too far left. News Nation. That's the one I watch now.
News Nation.
Yep, News Nation. It is a bunch of guys who were thrown off of those networks,
The
and
pariahs. I like it.
yes, and they put together another network that both sides get reported in every single report, and I love that.
I like that model because it allows you to hear what the others just aren't going to say. Not going to hurt their own base. So how do you get around now? Do you have a cool RV that you travel around the country in?
Yeah, I got a big Sprinter with, got recliners in the back and all that stuff. I'm probably going to get rid of it though, because it's nice until you get in a windstorm in North Dakota. That is like a big toaster oven waiting to flip over, man. And I was like, ooh, yeah, I don't want to do this up here no more. So,
There's some crazy stuff happening in the US from a weather standpoint. California's getting hit. It's like the world's being turned upside down.
yeah, and they say most of it's global warming, but I don't think it is.
Don't
I,
think it's global warming.
no, I don't think it's only, I don't think I believe in global warming, but I don't think that's what this is. An ice age happened before. We're going to have another one, right? I follow solar cycles religiously, right? And if I'm not mistaken, we are going, well, I mean, we're in solar cycle 24 right now. And 25, in 2025, I think we start solar cycle 25, somewhere around that area. Slowly but surely, the cycles, you have, what is it? 11 years going up, 11 years coming down, 11 years going up, 11 years coming down. And then within that, around that is another one that's a 350-year cycle. And last time that bottomed out was when we had an ice age. We're about 60 years or something like that from the bottom of that again. So there'll be another ice age, and they'll blame that on something humans did, I
So
think.
I love Mix is that you
I
are this
scientists.
you're a lifelong learner. Your hobby. So is this one of your many hobbies? Research?
No, no, I'll hear something and then I'll look it up. Say that looks kind of makes
You
sense.
become obsessed with it, don't you? You want
I
to
don't
get to the
I
bottom
don't
of it.
want people to just close their eyes and go, I'm going to will this to happen. We got these for reasons. Use it, you know. But that's just me.
Well, I hear people use this word manifest. What do you think? Can you
Yeah,
manifest something?
yeah. If you stick your hands down there and do it yourself, you can't just think it up. What is this? I Dream of Genie. Like poof, I have a studio now. People say that, and I don't. And I'm gonna sound like here's old grumpy guy now, dude. This is not. Actually, I felt this when I was younger. I hate tepid talk. I hate to. Don't worry, you can make it happen if you believe. No, my dad used to say, get a hammer, hit the nail, it will go in the wood, and then you'll know how to be a carpenter. It's like they waited.
You got to go do it.
You got to go do it. You got to go do it. That comes with anything. I mean, when I
But why are they being sold on this? They go to these. I'm not going to name certain mega churches. They follow certain people online that tell them, this inspirational, but they have no action behind it.
nothing behind it. It's just keep in mind, there's always a reason, right? You notice they're mega churches. How'd that happen? There you go. Keep telling those people it's right around the corner. It's right around the corner.
Right around the
It's
corner.
coming. It's right around the corner. And then you hit the corner and get hit by a bus. You know what I mean? I mean, it just use this. God gave us this for a reason.
So using your brain for good.
Using your brain, period. My God, man,
You
people,
sound like people don't use their brain though.
dude, how many times this has happened to you? I know we got to get out of me sounding like, because I am sounding like a grumpy fuck. And I usually
Okay.
don't sound like this
Mix,
at all.
I'm laughing the whole time here, by the way.
I usually don't
I
talk.
love you, man. You make me laugh.
How many times have you had a debate about something and the person goes, that's not what happened. I saw it today on YouTube.
I hear you. So you're saying that people don't think for themselves. They don't question what they hear.
No, people do think for themselves, just not all of us. You could tell the people that think for themselves, they're doing stuff like you're doing right now. They're not
But you
sitting around.
can't make people, I mean, but you know this, Mix. You cannot make somebody a high performance individual. It's just born inside of us.
It's born inside of us, and or it's something that over time you become just passionate about. And that's to me, anything you succeed at that you love doing, you have to have a passion or it will not work. Period. You can't just, num yo ho denge q and then you're going to be able to do it. It just doesn't. That's not how. I mean, you can pray whatever you believe in, But eventually, at some point, you got to take these two things and get busy.
I love that mix. So,
Yeah.
what are you working on right now?
Right now, I am working on a friend of mine's album who is one of the best writers I've ever been around. Dude could rap, but he made up his mind. He's going to do a pop record. And wow, it's good. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, dude, you pop. Yeah, he humbled me.
And he's
I mean, he's
impressed
coming up
you.
with the melodies. He's coming up with everything. So what I'm doing is I'm turning those melodies he's doing with his mouth into actual instruments and playing those melodies through. And then he's going to come over and spit on it. And I'm like, I like what he's doing because it's either going to hit or it's going to miss. There's not going to be an in between, which is what all great records are.
Where are we going to see you perform next, Mix?
I think I got a showdown in Oklahoma coming up in the summer. I got a few things. What I do now is I wrap my shows around where I want to go. So
That's
I might,
wise.
yeah, yeah. If I go down there, I might do something in Texas, Miami, and stuff like that, and then come back up the coast and do some other stuff. I want it to be fun from now on. You know, I'm 21 years old now.
You're a good-looking 21-year-old. You're super smart
Wow,
and
man.
always Mix. Love seeing you. Love hearing your story. Thank you for talking to us and for your voice.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.